Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Vyasam Vasishtanaptaram Shakte Pautramakalmusham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponidhim Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaham Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Aspadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yoginam Vishwanathakyam Asmattata Swarupidam Atmalabhat Param Labham Bhakta Aram Nakadachana Gita Artha Grantha Kartaram Sri Gurum Pranamamyaham Yontah Pravishya Vacham Dhritim Buddhim Prachodayat Om Namah Sababhyas Sabapatibhyascha Vo Namah Om. Friends, we are going to be doing Vishnu Sahasranama 12th session today. We shall be covering names from 137 to 150. It's going to be a very profound technical portion today. So I begin with Chatura Atma Chaturvyuhas Chaturdam Chaturbhujagam Brajishnu Bhojanam Bhokta Sagishnu Jagadadjagam Anagho Vijayo Jeta Vishwayo Nipunarpasuhu. Those three lines we will be able to see today. Chatura Atma Chatura Atma, Chatuhu 4, Atma soul, Chaturatma 4 soul, 4 Atma, something like that. This is quite a difficult technical name. It occurs once more in the 769th name. Now it is 137th. There it says Chaturatma Chaturbhava Chaturveda Videkapat. When we come there, I will give you the meanings of those words. But right now, we are going to look at Chaturatma from the quotation from Vishnu Purana. In Vishnu Purana, this Chaturatma means 4 souls. 4 souls. What are the souls? What are the 4 Atmas? What is it that is being referred to? Now we are going into not only mythology but very deep Vedanta now. As I told you, the authority is Vishnu Purana. You see, there are 3 major functions of the Absolute in its form of Saguna Brahman. When the Absolute is Nirguna, it has no action, no transformation, no nothing. But when it appears to us as a Saguna Brahman, that is a Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, like that, a God, there are 3 functions of that Absolute in that Saguna Brahman form. We know all that: creation, sustenance and dissolution. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara. In each of these, the Lord makes himself into 4 facets, vibhutis. That is what that Vishnu Purana says. So first take creation. It says Brahma Dakshadayah Kalaham Tathaiva Khilajantavaham Vibhutayo Harereta Jagata Srishtihetavaham. Brahma Prajapati is like Daksha. You know Daksha Prajapati. Brahma, from his mental construct, several Prajapatis came up, and it is by their creation the whole entire world was populated. So Brahma, the Prajapati is like Daksha, and then Kala, time. That is one thing. Then people, all the Sarva Jagat, universe with its people. These 4, Brahma, Prajapati like Daksha, Kalaha, time, and universe means the people. These 4 are the vibhutis of the creation aspect of the Lord. Right? We are talking of Chaturatma. So this is the Chaturatma in the creation aspect. Then look at the sustenance aspect. Again, the next sloka in Vishnu Purana. Vishnurmanvadayah kalaham sarvabhutani chadvijam sthiter nimitta bhutasya Vishnoreta vibhutayaham. Vishnuhu manvadayah. First Vishnu, then Manuhu, like Swayambhuva Manu. You see, Vishnu is the maintenance, that's the maintenance function. The Manus, they ruled the world. They maintained, sustained, carried on the executive, so to say. Manus, the Swayambhuva Manu, and then various other Manus in that succession. And then again, time, Kalaha, and people. Vishnuhu, Manvadeyaha, Kalaha, Sarvabhutani, all the people. These Sthiter Nimitta Bhutasya, for the purpose of maintenance, Sthiti, maintenance, Vishnoreta Vibhutaya. These are the Vibhutis, these are the facets, these are the Vibhutis of the Lord. Remember Prajapatihi, which I told you in the creation aspect, that comes also as a separate name in the Vishnu Sahasranama. We have already seen it. Ishana Pranada Prano Jeta Sveta Prajapatihi. We have seen that. Similarly, Manu here for the sustenance aspect. Vishwakarma Manustvashta Savishta Saviro Dhruva. That also we have seen as the 51st name, Manu. Then the third aspect, dissolution, samhara. Rudra certainly, divines like Yama. It says, Rudra kalon chakatyascha samastascha jantavaham chadurdha pralayayaita janardana vibhutayagam. The four Atmas in the dissolution aspect of the Lord are Rudra, divines like Yama, time and people. See, Samastascha jantavaha. So these are the four vibhutis. So in the creation aspect there are four, in the sustenance aspect there are four, in the dissolution aspect there are four. Therefore he is Chaturatma. This is one meaning. I am going to give you another very profound meaning, very difficult. So the next meaning. First we must know about Vyashti and Samashti. What is Vyashti? Individuality. Individual. What is Samashti? Aggregate, totality. Like that. Tree is Vyashti. Forest of trees is Samashti. So, the Atman in an individual Sharira is termed Jiva. You see, it's very interesting to note that Vishnu Sahasranama innocuously contains so many names, but it's not innocuous. It contains a profound Vedanta content and mythological content. So this is what we are seeing here in this one name, Chaturatma. The Atma in an individual Sharira is termed Jiva. That is Vyashti. The Atma in all individual Shariras, that is Ishvara, Samashti. So Jiva and Ishvara. Jiva in Vyashti, Ishvara in the totality. The Jiva and Ishvara are spoken of in three different ways. The Jiva that claims its ownership with the material body, is Vishwa. I am going back to Mandukya Upanishad now. Vishwa. The corresponding Ishvara, the Samashti part is Virat. So Vishwa and Virat. Vishwa and Virat together have a name. I will tell you the name presently. Otherwise you will get confused. Similarly, the Jiva which claims ownership of or has an Abhimana, a legitimate pride in the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Just now I told you about the material Sharira. The Jiva which owns the material Sharira is Vishwa. The Jiva which owns the subtle body is Taijasa. Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna, Mandukya Upanishad comes. So that is Taijasa. The corresponding samashti name is Sutra. Taijasa and Sutra, Vyashti and Samashti. Taijasa and Sutra together have a name. Just as Ishvara and Virat in the Vishwa and Virat, I told you, is a name. So this also has a separate name. I will tell you presently. Then the causal body, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Sthula Sharira ownership is Vishwa. Sukshma Sharira ownership is Taijasa. The causal body, Karana Sharira ownership is Prajna. The corresponding one in Samashti is Ishvara. Prajna and Ishvara together have a name. So, the Atma is realized as something beyond these three stages of cognition. By the realization of the Atman, the fourth one, Turiya, is known. It has no distinctions about Vyashti and Samashti. There is no question of individuality and totality in Brahman, in Turiya. So he is called Avikalpa. So now we have Vishwa and Virat as one. The name is Ota. I am going to some Upanishad now. The Taijasa and Sutra, its name is, together the name is Anujñata. And Prajna and Ishvara, the causal body ownership, is Anujñaika Rasa. So there are three things: Ota, Anujñata, Anujñaika Rasa. And then there is the Turiya, which is Avikalpa. These four are the four Atmas. Because the real knowledge, by real jnana, the superimposition that we have on the material things, on the non-self things, are all negated. They get the apavada. That is what is called in Nrisimhottaratapani Upanishads. It is not among the first 12 Upanishads, but Shankara has made a bhashya for that also. Nrisimhottaratapani Upanishad. It's a long Upanishad. It has a lot of Vedanta in it. There it describes Turiyash Chaturatma, Turiyavase Tattvat, Ekaikasya, Ota, Anujñatra, Anujña Vikalpaihi iti. So, these four are the four Atmas. That is the Nrisimhottaratapani Upanishad. That is referred here. Chaturatma. Chaturatma, Chaturvyuhash, Chaturdam, Chaturbhujam. One more simple meaning. Chaturatma, you can yourself guess. The simple meaning is Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and the Absolute. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and the Absolute. Four Atma is also another way of recognizing the Chaturatma. So that takes care of that single name, Chaturatma. Chaturatma, Chaturvyuhaha. We will go to Chaturvyuhaha now. Chaturvyuha is comparatively simple. Four Vyuhas. What is a Vyuha? Vyuha means an army array. The arrangement of the army in the various, that is called a Vyuha. In Bharata, Mahabharata, in the final Yuddha time, you will find people arranging the two armies in various Vyuhas, when the names of various Vyuhas will occur there. Anyway, Vyuha means an army array, but here it means simply structure, form. The format or structure here are concordant with the function. What are the four functions? The four Vyuhas of the Lord are, the Lord has four Vyuhas. Chatur Vyuhaha. Chatur means four. Four Vyuhaha. What are the four Vyuhas? Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. Pradyumna is for creation, has the function of creation. Aniruddha has the function of sustenance. Sankarshana has the function of dissolution. And then Vasudeva is the head of all these three, of all three. So that is the fourth. This is the Chaturvyuha. Chaturatma, Chaturvyuham, Chaturdamshtrash, Chaturbhujam. Chaturdamshtraha is a very difficult name. Chaturdamshtraha, four damstras. What is a damstra? Damshtra means the canine teeth, fully developed, as in the case of carnivorous animals. See, canine teeth. 4 such teeth. Chasurdamshtraha. 4 such teeth Nrisimha had in the Nrisimha Avatara. When Nrisimha appeared from the pillar for Prahlada, he had those 4 teeth. Right? So Chasurdamshtraha. This is the simplest meaning of Chasurdamshtraha. But there is a tremendous Vedantic meaning as a next name. Damshtra also indicates a horn. Of course, it is purely by analogy. The Advaitic interpretation of this Chasurdamshtra is these 4 teeth or the 4 horns are nothing but what the Mandukya Upanishad proclaims as Chatushpada. Mandukya Upanishad talks about Om. Om has 4 padas. You see, the might of the Supreme causes the play of the waking, the sleep, dreaming, the sleeping. So dream sleep, deep sleep, dream, waking, 3 they are called padas. And then there is the 4th which transcends all. It's the 4th plane of consciousness. It is the springboard for all these 3. So he whose glory are these 4 experiences of duality is the one non-dual self. That is the great absolute. That is the Mahavishnu who is talked about here, Chasurdamshtra. This is again an ordinary meaning. Now we are going to go into the Vedantic meaning. Later in number 409, we are in 139 now, name number. Later in 409 we are going to get Vaikuntha Purusha Prana Pranada Pranava Panaha Pranava Pritu Pranavaha. Pranava is Omkara. So the Lord himself is given the name Pranavaha, Om. Om is the Lord. Another again in 957. Urdhvaga Satpatachara Pranada Pranava Panaham. So Pranavaha occurs those 2 places as indicative of the name of the Lord. So we are going to interpret now this Chasurdamshtraha as representing nothing but Om. The authority for this comes from a Rigveda passage, famous passage, very difficult passage. Yes. Dveshe, where is this? Chatvari Shangatrayo Asya Pada Dve Shirshe Saptahastaso Asya Trida Bhaddho Vrishabhoro Raviti Maho Devo Matyagum Abhivesha Chatvari Shangatrayo Asya Pada. I am quoting the Rigveda now. Chatvari Shangatrayo Asya Pada. Oh, incidentally, I want to share with you some personal information. Remember, when I am quoting these shlokas, Vedic passages, and various shlokas from the Upanishads and so on, I did not learn them yesterday or day before. Long ago, when I was a boy, my father had taught me many of these passages, not with meaning. Understand, no meaning, no meaning. I was taught to recite, to imbibe them. I don't think my father had any time in his life to give me the meanings, except in his public expositions, which sometimes I hear, sometimes I don't. And sometimes I never understand the meaning also, because I was only a teenager. Now, as life passed on, when I came to age 30 or 40 or 50, because all these passages were there in my mind, slowly revolving about them, the meanings, and then of course referring to books and so on, the meanings now they make sense. Once upon a time they did not make any sense except mumbo jumbo, mantra, nothing more. You see, Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada Dve Shirshe Saptahasta So Asya. I did not study the Rig Veda, but this mantra occurs in Mahanarayana Upanishad. The full Mahanarayana Upanishad my father has taught me to recite. So various other Upanishads also. No meaning. I never asked for the meaning, and neither I had the time nor I had the interest. But I am telling you this interesting fact that first of all learn to recite, and then in due time as you age, then you can revolve it in your mind even when sitting, walking, lying down, anywhere else. You will slowly get the meaning. The same with Dakshinamurti Ashtakam. I used to do the Dakshinamurti Ashtakam Namaskara by repeating the shlokas. Bhalyadishvapi Jagratadishu Sada Sarva Swavastha Swavi Vyavritta Swanuvartamanam Ahamichyanta Spurantam Sada. I never knew the meaning, but now they all make sense. They make not only sense, but the entire Vedanta is there. I am able to understand it. I am thankful to my father for having introduced me to that. If today I start learning the text and then the meaning, it is going to take a long time, probably never. So that is the thing. Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada Dve Shirshe Saptahasta So Asya. Only today I am able to use it. I have never used it so far. What does it say? Shringa. Shringa means horn. Chatvari Shringa, 4 horns. You see, we are now in Chaturdamshtraha. Damshtra also means horn. So, by analogy, Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada, Trayo Pada, 3 feet. Dve Shirshe, 2 heads. Saptahasta, so Asya, 7 hands. Trida Vadho, thrice bound. Bound by 3 things. Vrishabho ro raviti. Vrishabha the bull. Ro raviti bellows loudly. What is all this? You know, Rig Veda is a mystic literature. But what is the meaning of this? The beauty is, the meaning is, it is Om. Om is being taught to you here. Chatvari Shringa Om A O Ma. Right? And the Nada Rupa behind. So the Akara, Ukara, Makara and the Nada Rupa are the 4 Shringas, 4 horns. Rig Veda is very often allegorical. There is an allegoric stanza in the Rig Veda. Beautiful. It says, Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada. Trayo Asya Pada. 3 feet. What are the 3 feet? Waking, dreaming, sleeping. Or Vishwataija Saprajna, or the Jagat, the soul embodied in the Jagat and its unevolved cause. Right? Dve Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada Dve Shirshe, 2 heads. What are the 2 heads? Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. See, you can't, if somebody teaches you at the age of 15 all these things, it will be totally above you, nothing. But because one learns the text and then thinks about it, you get the meaning. So now, what is it? Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti taught in the Gita, that these are the 2 Shirshas, heads. Trida Dve Shirshe Saptahasta, so Asya 7 hands. 7 hands. What are the 7 hands? The 7 words. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Suvaha, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. So Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Maha, Jana, Tapaha, Satyam. These 7 are the 7 hands. So, Trida Baddho Vrishabho ro raviti, thrice bound by Rajastamas Sattva. Vrishabha, bull. The Omkara is allegorically mentioned as a bull. Vrishabho ro raviti, it bellows loudly. Om declares eloquently the Absolute. Om stands for the Absolute. Om stands for the Absolute. Because not one Mandukya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, the Kathopanishad, the Prashnopanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, all these passages, all these Upanishads devote quite a little space, quite a space for the description of Om, the advantages of meditating on Om, and the meaning, the cosmic and acosmic meaning of Om. These are the various Upanishads which talk about that Om. That Om is described here as Chatur, because that Om is nothing but the Brahman. Chaturdamshtraha. Chaturdamshtraha. Okay. So Chatura Atma Chaturvyuhash Chaturdamshtrash Chaturbhujaha. There is not only a rhyme in that stanza, but profound meaning just in one line. Chaturbhujaha, one who has four hands. Chaturbhujaha. We know those four hands business. The Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. One hand is Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, lotus. Right? In fact, the Gita, in that 11th chapter, the Lord shows him the Vishwarupa with all those horrifying things. Sahasrabahu, 1,000 heads, and the entire world of people coming and going in, going into his mouth and coming out. I mean, horrible scene. But Arjuna saw that. So after all that, he says, "Oh Baba, please come back to your four-armed usual thing. Kiritinam gadinam chakrastam ichchami tvam drashtumaham tataiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhavishwamurte." Oh, 1,000-armed Lord, please go back to your four-armed form. That is the Chaturbhuja form. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, Krishna is born. He is not born in the usual way. He appeared. Avirasi, it says, appeared. And then Devaki praises him by a series of shlokas. And at the end of that she says, Upasamhara Vishwatman Nadorupamalaukikam Shankachakra Gada Padma Shriyajushtam Chaturbhujam. Because he has appeared Tamatbhutam Balakamam Bhujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shankadadatjudayudam. You see, he appeared as a child, but he had four hands, and then he had all those mace, chakra, shankha, everything. Look at the child having this, and so she says, please come back to your, as a normal child. Upasamhara, withdraw all these extraneous transcendental form of yours. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Shriyajushtam Chaturbhujam. So those Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, they are the four arms of the Lord. They are not there just for decoration. According to the Puranas, these four are used by the Lord, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, in maintaining dharma among mankind. Shankha, what does Shankha do? It calls man to the right path. The moment he blows his Shankha, the Lord calls you to the direct path that leads you to peace and perfection. But many of us, you see, in the enchantment of the immediate material sense joys of the world, we refuse to listen to that small inner voice of conscience, that Shankha, the sound of the Panchajanya Shankha. So we refuse to listen to that. So what does he do? He wields the mace, Gada. He wields the mace, and that causes small calamities and tragic jerks in our smooth existence. Communal, social, personal, national, anything. But still, if the individual is not listening, you see, the wheel of time, the chakra is used. It annihilates everything. Chakra, right? So Shankha, Gada, Chakra. What is all the why is all this done? the call as well as the supposed punishment are all only to make man go back to the ultimate goal indicated by, expressed by that lotus in his hand. Subjectively, the Vishnu is nothing but the self within. He manifests a four-armed subtle body. He serves as the Lord of the gross physical universe. And the subtle body in the inner Antakarana, it functions as four mighty powers. From the inner subtle body, he functions through our mind, intellect, chit and ego. These four are corresponding to Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Shankha corresponds to our intellect, buddhi. Chakra corresponds to our manas, always rotating, always fickle. Gada corresponds to our ego. And Padma, lotus, corresponds to the chit behind all this. So the self functions in this fourfold pattern. Therefore he is Chaturbhuja. Beautiful meaning of Chaturbhuja. Right? Still I have one more to tell you. In the Narayaniyam, I mean, you can go back and listen to some of my lectures on selections from Narayaniyam on the YouTube video. Suryagni Brahmanatma Adishu Lasita Chaturbahumāradhaye Tvam Yadyallabhyeta Sattattava Samapadrisham Devadasospidekam Swadgehun Marjanadyam. Please, O Lord, let me at least sweep, clean your altar. Give me that work. You see, I am always worshipping you in your four manifestations. What are the four manifestations? Surya, Agni, Brahmana, Atma. Surya, sun. And Agni, is the great Lord of the great divine element which carries our message to all the other divines. That is why we do Homa in Agni. That is why we do all that. Surya, Agni, Brahmana is the one who has realized the Brahman, sages, and Atma. These are the four. So these is called Chaturbahum. So Chaturbhuja is conceived of as Surya, Agni, Brahmana and Atma. This is Narayaniyam shloka. Anyway, that is Chaturbhujaha. Chaturatma, Chaturvyuhas, Chaturdam, Stress, Chaturbhujaha. One line, beautiful line, full of profound meaning. So we go to the next line. Bhrajishnu bhojanam bhokta Sahishnu jagadadijagam. Brajishnu, simple, one who is pure luminosity. Braj, the root Braj means to glitter, to shine, to radiate brilliance. So Brajishnu. Jyotisham api tad jyotihi tamasa paramuchyate. Gita. Jyotisham api tad jyoti. He is the light of all lights. The light, Jyotisham api tad jyoti. Tamasa paramuchyate. Self-effulgent shine, which does not need any other light to illuminate it. It is self-effulgent, self-illuminating. Brajishtur bhojanam bhokta. Bhojanam bhokta. You may know the meaning. Bhojana is food. Bhokta is the one who enjoys the food, the one who eats the food. What is all this? Bhojana is the Lord, Bhokta is the Lord. This is again Advaita. You see, Bhojana means that which is enjoyed, consumed. Bhojya rupataya prakritihi maya bhojanam ityuchyate. Shankara in his commentary. Bhojya rupataya, everything is enjoyed, everything is experienced, consumed. Prakriti is nothing but Prakriti. That is called Bhojanam. But the Lord himself is Prakriti. I mean, Prakriti is not something separate from the Lord. Prakriti is not something separate from the Lord. So, he is called Bhojanam. Food in Vedanta means the entire field of experience. right? So we consume food means we experience whatever to be experienced. Brajishnu bhojanam bhokta. Bhokta means he as the Purusha enjoys the Prakriti. Purusha and Prakriti. Bhokta is the Purusha. He is the enjoyer. He is the experiencer. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Ahamannam, 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 ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadagat. Annam, 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 aham, annam. I am the food, I am food, I am food. And then next line, ahamannado, I am the food eater, I am the food eater, I am the food eater. First of all, what is the meaning of saying I am food, I am also a food eater? That I told you is, we will explain that is the Advaita concept. And then it says 3 times. The 3 times is because in the Veda, Taittiriya Samhita, there is I think it is 6th Kanda, 3rd Prashna, 10th Anuvaka. It says, thrice real are Devas. Small sentence it appears. That is used. So whenever we want to promise somebody, we promise it 3 times. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, 3 times. Everything is done 3 times. When we go around circumambulate the Lord, we do it 3 times. So everything is done 3 times to confirm and make a promise. So that is why ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam 3 times. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadaga 3 times. Now, but without the basis of Advaita, one cannot understand this apparently conflicting statement. You will recall, those of you who have read the Gita sufficiently, Brahmarpanam Brahmahamigi Brahmaknau Brahmanagutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahmakarma Samadhina. What you offer in the fire is Brahman. The fire is Brahman. You are the Brahman. The instrument is Brahman, everything is Brahman. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmaknau Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam. And they finally reach the Brahman. So, everything is Brahman. So, the food is Brahman. But in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in some place, somewhere in the 3rd chapter, lastly, Na tadashnati kinchana na tadashnati kaschana. It does not eat anything. It is not eaten by anything. You see that? So, the food and food eater concept are mere phenomena. They are only names. They exist only in names. They do not exist in reality. But in order to teach that the phenomenal world emanates from Brahman. The phenomenal world emanates from Brahman and has no existence other than Brahman. It is said, I am food eater, etc. Vishnu Sahasranama itself repeats this idea. Later, in its 983rd and 984th names, Annam Annadaye Vacha. It is Annam and also Annadha, food and food eater. Whatever the devotee offers him with sincerity, patram pushpam param toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupakritam ashnami prayatatmana. Whatever you offer with sincerity, I take it, he says. So that is why he is the Bhokta. Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Upadrashtanamanta cha, 13th chapter. Upadrashtanamanta cha, Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara, says the Lord. So that is Bhojanam. Brajishnur Bhojanam Bhokta Sahishnur Jagadadijaham. Sahishnuhu, one who can tolerate, bear, capable of patiently suffering in perfect detachment all that is happening around him. That is a Sahishnu. That is how he stood against various enemies like Hiranyaksha and others. He is only the Shakshi. Nothing affects him. Just as the sun is there are reflections of the sun. The sun in the cosmos is unaffected by them. The reflections go through several perturbations, several changes. But sun is a mere witness of its own endless reflections. Same way with the Lord. He is the Sakshi. So Sahishnu Jagadadijaha. Jagadadijaha. Jagat means universe, Adi means original. Jagadadijaha. Before the original universe was there, he was there. He was born, he manifested before the universe was manifest. He was there as Hiranyagarbha. Purvoyo devebhyo jata Purusha Suktam. Purvoyo. He was born before everything else. Purvoyo devebhyo jataha. So Jagadadijaha. Compared to the earlier names, Chaturatma, Chaturvyuha, Sadam, Shashadambujaga, these are easy. Anagaha, Anagho Vijayo Jeta. Anagaha. Agaha means sin, fault, blemish. Anagaha means no sin, no fault, no blemish. Even when he came as an avatar in this world, he was untouched by any sin or any fault. That is why Chandogya Upanishad says, Apahata Papma. That's a very pregnant word for him. He is untouched by sin. Why is he untouched by sin? Because he has no Dehabhimana. He has no, we are touched by sin because we think about this is I am the body, mind, intellect. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. This is what we think. That is why we are touched by sin, touched by fault, everything. He is untouched by sin because he has no Dehabhimana. He has no attachment towards the body. Anagho Vijayo Jeta Vijayaha. Just now I said he is untouched by sin. Therefore he conquers everything. He has nothing to fear. His excellences of Jnana, Aishwarya, Bala, Virya, Tejas. He has got all these 6 excellences. So he conquers everything. Vijaya. Jeta. By his very nature he always conquers. He is always the conqueror. Always the victor. He is superior to everything. Therefore he is the victor. He is victorious. He does not have to do anything. By his very sankalpa, determination, by thought, he is victorious. Anagho Vijayo Jeta Vishwayoni Punarvasuhu. Vishwayonihi. Vishwa is universe. Yoni is origin. So he is the origin of the universe. Easy meaning. Another meaning, he is both the effect and the cause. Effect is the universe, cause is the yoni. He is both the effect and the cause. So Vishwayonihi. Punarvasuhu. Yes. Punaha sharireshu asati kshetrajna rupena. Punaha sharireshu. Again and again. Sharireshu. In various bodies. In the body of the animal, in the body of the everything. Sharireshu. Punah. You go to the next janma, he appears. He is there as kshetrajna. He is the resident of the body. He is the sakshi. He is sitting there. So punah, again and again he occupies your body as the resident. Actually this happens from Brahma downwards. For Brahma also he is the antaryami. He is the inner resident. So from Brahma downwards up to ant or anything, he shows himself as the antaryami. I think that finishes the plan today. So that is Jagadashayan Anagho Vijayo Jeta Vishwayoni Punarvasuhu Upendro Va Manah Pramshuhu. We will start with Upendraha next time. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Tat Sat.